down, smoking high, I am not round. I'm not round, no denying what I got now. I got now, keep an eye out, keep it locked down, locked down.
So good day people. So today we're going to be doing a full service on the matiz. It's going to be spark plugs, leads, air filter, fuel filter, oil filter. Yeah, just get a full service done on it so it's ready to hit the road. So switch around, let's get on with it. So first things first is we're going to want to drain the oil out the bottom. So you want to find your sump plug. Let's see here. It is a 17mm spanner. You want to get yourself a container or something to collect your oil in and just undo your sump. See, it's a 17. Get it on. Crack it open. Get that in the right place. Gonna be quick at this. There we go. You do get it all over you. So while we let that drain out, we'll do the spark plugs. Right, so while the oil's draining out the bottom, we're going to do the spark plugs, the HT leads and air filter. Everything at the top we're going to sort out while that's draining. So I've took the first HT lead off. They just pop off. Just put them off. Swap your spark plugs over. Just on the first one. It's not bad really, but might as well swap them. Do a full service on the car, as it has been stood for a while. So we'll just grab the leads now. Right, with the leads, they're all the same size. I normally tell the difference between the different sizes, but they're all the same size, so it don't really matter which one goes on where. So stick the first one on. Make sure it clicks in. And there's the first one done. Move on to the second one. Just pull that off. And so on, you just keep going, get all three and up to that. What I have noticed is with these spark plugs, I'll get this one out and show you. Try and get this one out. Yes. With the ones in the car, you've got a smaller nut here. With the new ones I've got, it's actually fatter, actually a different size. You see the deep bit here? That's smaller, but they're both exactly the same. While the BPR5EY, you can see that they're both the same. So all you do is measure up from there to there. As you can see, all the thread and everything else is the same. The depth, the width, everything is the same in the thread and that. All what's different is these here. So this just means this is going to stick out further out your block. But yeah, both at the, well, they're both the same model and everything, so that's the only difference. So I could have gone back and got a set of these, but as they're the same and that, it's just the different sizes here. I don't think it's going to matter, but we'll put them in the car. It ain't got no, well, we ain't going to eat no pistons or valves or nothing here, because the threads are exactly the same length and that. So yeah, we'll see if these are going to work. They should do. Like I said, exactly the same serial number and everything on it. So yeah, let's get it fitted. So I just took the third spark plug out. Look at the state of that. So glad we are changing them. So the next thing after this will be the air filter. We'll get the air filter off, change that, then we'll go on to the oil filter. So there we go, spark plugs and HD leads all swapped over. Simple really. So let's get this air filter done. So on the air filter, there's 4 screws, or they're 8mm bolts. There's 1 missing on here, so there's only 3. There's 2 at the back, 1 here, 1 the other side of the pipe here, 1 here and 1 here. Like I say, I've got 1 missing here. This one, the screw thread, well, the hole at the top here where you put your screwdriver in, that's all threaded off, so I've had to use an 8mm spanner to take this one off. The other 2 did with a screwdriver, so we'll find a screw, well, 2 screws for this side here. So yeah, undo them, and all you want to do is lift it up like that. The air filter comes out. I see now there's all leaves and all that. You want to get all that cleaned out as well. So I'll get that cleaned out and I'll be back. So we'll get the nice new clean one. And all you do is you sit it in like that. That's how simple it is. And all you do is put the top back on and screw 4 screws back in. So that's your air filter done. So the air filter is done, spark plugs, HD leads are done. Next thing is oil filter. Oil filter is down here, just underneath your manifold here. So you just need to get that off now. So I use the chain tight. All I do is wrap the chain around, comes back through, hooks on there, and you just wrench it round. So yeah, let's get the oil filter off. Says the oil filter off. I say all you do is crack it. As soon as it cracks open, you can undo it by hand. Make sure you put your container or whatever you're using, collect oil, just underneath it, because it does leak oil straight out of it. Don't forget to put your sump plug back in. So I put my sump plug back in, cracked the oil filter open, then just undone it by hand. Here's my new one. So what I'm going to do, use a bit of the old oil just to rub around the rubber or around the seal here, just to make sure it seals properly. Some people do put fresh oil in, just rinse it around inside, but I don't bother. I just do that like that. Stick that there out of the way, the old one, and just tighten this up by hand. Here's a bit of a pain to get your hand in, but don't do what I've done plenty of times, and that's drop the new oil filter in the old oil. You can just do it by hand tight, make sure it's hand tight on, but I do it by hand tight. Then soon I've got it on and I've really crunched it by hand, then I'll just go back on with this and just do it slightly up, just a bit, just to make sure it's on tight. So yeah, That's the oil filter done. Next thing we'll do is we'll do the fuel filter. Right, so air filter's done, oil filter's done, HT leads, spark plugs are all done. I was going to do the fuel filter next, but I changed my mind because it looks like they've bodged the old one on, so I'm going to do that last. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to flush the water system through so I can put fresh antifreeze in. As the container's empty for when I emptied it all out when I was doing the suspension and everything else. So all I'm going to do is find the bottom pipe to my radiator, disconnect it, empty all the water out, then just top it back up with antifreeze. So let's see where the bottom pipe is. Bottom pipe there, just emptying it all out. As you can see, there is no antifreeze in that at all, so glad I'm doing it really. So as you look at the key at the front here, so on your left hand side at the bottom, so yeah, just get a set of pliers, pull your clip off and just wiggle your pipe so it pops off. Just be careful you don't move it too much so you don't snap any on your radiator. So all I did was just wiggle it, just pull it slightly and it popped off. But yeah, that's all that at. So that's emptied that. All I'm going to do now is turn the ignition for a couple of seconds just to get the water pumping out. Then yeah, I know I ain't put no oil in yet, that's why I'm only going to turn it for a couple of seconds just to get the water pumped through. Then I'll connect the pipe back on, top it up with antifreeze. Freeze I'm using. Bottom pipe is back on. Bit of a pain, but I got it on. So what I'm going to do is top it up, drop the car down, fill the oil up, then we'll get on to doing the fuel filter. So that's the oil all topped up. So what you want is top it up, leave it for I don't know 3-4 minutes, then pull your dipstick out, give it a clean, dip it back in. Don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but you see that there's the oil mark just there. So you want it in between these two dots here, them two dots there, you want it in between, well, near enough to the top one here. My oil mark's there, so that's all good. So all I'm going to do now, put the lid back on, I'll put the cap back on, then I'm going to start the car, then watch this water. I've topped up the antifreeze. Antifreeze is topped up, as you can see the pink in it now. So what I'm going to do is start the car, that will drain out, I'll top it up, then I'm going to leave it to just idle, just tick over by itself and just let all the air come out of the system for the antifreeze. So your max mark is here, and this lip is here. That's your max mark where you want to keep it topped up to. Roof stays still. So yeah, let's see, all the oil's topped up now and so on. All the water is topped, well, all the antifreeze is topped up. What I'm going to do, leave it to tick over, just so all the antifreeze get out of the system Just soften it up. If you leave the cap off as well, then all the air will go around the system and pump out your bottle. Best way of bleeding it, I reckon. So yeah, I'll keep doing this. Then what I'll do, I'll give it a good run, come back, leave it a few hours for all the oil to drain back to the bottom, check the oil again, make sure the levels are all good, then the car's banging. So I'll leave this for a bit, and I'll come back and we'll do the fuel filter. Fuel filter time. There's fuel filter. Got the lead hanging off here. You can see all cable tied on, and God knows what they've been doing. Whoever did this last done a right push job. So I'm going to have to unclip all that and see what damage they've done and see if I need to order any other parts. But to find your fuel filter is you want to look on the driver's side, come down to just below the rear door here, and it's just here, just underneath here, you'll see it right there. So I'll get all this unclipped, then we'll go from there. What they have done, the last people is they broke the clip, the plastic clip here. What you do, you put a screwdriver and you just pull it slightly and it pops off both sides. Well, they broke that side and they broke this side. And I put a new connector on the earth wire as well, what plugs onto the back here. They've made a right mess of it, so all I've done is cable tied it back on just so I can keep it running. So yeah, that's the main thing. I'm going to keep it running, keep it, well, I'm going to take it out on road till I find some new clips or the connectors. I'm going to order, well, the connector is a complete pipe this side and a complete pipe that side as well, so the car will have to get up on the ramps. Hopefully I won't have to drop the tank to do it, but might end up dropping the tank to put a complete new pipe and connector on to do it. But I do it like this for now. Make sure I've got no leaks in that. I'm going to connect this wire, this wire back up, make sure it ain't leaking, then we'll leave it there for today. So there we go, full service done on the Matiz. That fuel filter definitely needed new connectors. Whoever's done it before really made a right job of it. So yeah, I'm going to have to get some of them ordered and get that sorted. I have cable tied the fuel filter, well, the lines back onto the fuel filter, and that so I can still kick it over and run it. Handbrake cable's going to need tightening up, so I'm going to have to do that. Then I think it's ready for its MOT. Then everything else sweet, it's ticking over just fine now, all fluid's good. So yeah, bonus. Hope you like what you see. Don't forget to subscribe if you ain't already. I'll see you next time. Stay safe.